In the last module, we studied basics of computer architecture. We saw its general definition, structure of computer, and in general, how information is processed by the computer. Well, in this video, we'll start talking about how exactly this information is represented inside the computer. Now, the answer to this question basically lies in the internal circuitry of modern day computers. We all know that computers are built using a logic circuits that operate two-valued electrical signals. So, example for two-valued electrical signal can be like this. So this is basically something two-valued electrical signal. The value is and the levels are labeled as 0 and 1. So naturally, the best way to represent or the only way to represent the information for a computer is in binary form. The amount of information given by such a signal is represented as bit. So bit is the basic unit of information or a basic unit of binary information. So any kind of information we want to have inside a computer is represented by a sequence of such bits. So maybe sequence of such bits can be given as bn-1, bn-2, bn-3. These are all single bits. It can go up to b2, b1, b0. So this is an n-bit vector, and it can represent any kind of information that we want to have. It can be a character code, it can be a string code, it can be an integer or a floating point number, depends on the format we are having. Let's talk about some standard binary sequences that we have used. You already know that 1 bit is the basic of information, basic unit of information. Now we consider 8 bits. It is called byte. 8 bits of information is called byte, and this is the basic unit for addressable memory. You must have used this term for representing the size of memory and all. Similarly, for 32, we have word. So string of 32 bits can be a word. Okay, so this 16 and 16, let's say. So the 16-bit information is again, it's called a half word. So these are the different standards we're going to encounter in computer architecture. Now let's talk about the types of information associated with the computer. So the information can be divided two types. Related to computer, we have instructions and we have data. So instruction is the information which tells processor what to do or which operation is to be performed. Whereas data is the actual information which is being processed inside a computer. Now, instruction also have different formats and types. So we are going to come back at instructions in the later sequences of videos. Let's talk about data. Data can be further divided in two types. First is non-numerical data. Non-numerical data can be characters, strings, all represented in binary sequence, but they represent something other than numbers. The other type is obviously numbers. So while dealing with computer arithmetic, we need to know how exactly the number is represented. So let's talk about the representation of numbers. So numbers associated with computer arithmetic are divided in two types, basically integers and floating point. Integers, you are all familiar with integers, different integers. These are further classified in two types called unsigned integers, where only magnitude is represented, and signed integers. Now there are different ways of representing signed integers, which we are going to see in the next video. Now floating point number is something which is not commonly used in everyday life, but it's very efficient way of representing a number. For example, in decimal systems, we represent numbers something like this, 10 raised to 32. So this thing consists of three parts. It's basically base. For decimal system, the base is 10. This part is mantissa and this is exponent. So in similar fashion, binary numbers can also be represented in similar format. The base is going to be here 2. This is a mantissa. This is exponent. Now all we need to have a specific format to represent both of mantissa and exponent in a single binary string. So there are different formats for representing floating point numbers. We are going to study them, and we are going to study the standard IEEE format in the next couple of videos. So this is about the representation of data inside a computer. In the next video, we will start learning the representation and types of integers. Thank you.